Hello, this is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like it, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, before I get started, I just want to reach out to all of you and make sure everybody is taking good care of themselves. And if you have children, make sure you give them those hugs and kisses that they deserve. And, like as far as your pets go, make sure, you give them a hug for me. I can't have any pets, but I would love to. So yeah, make sure you're taking really good care of your pets. And if you're married or if you have a loved one out there, make sure you let them know how much you care about them and how much you respect them, by giving them love every day and, being gentle to them, be kind to everyone. So anyway, I wanted to reach out to you today, and I don't know about you. When I was a kid, I don't know what country you're from, so everybody's, from different areas. But have you ever played Follow the Leader? And, that's what I've noticed in life is a lot of people are playing that game still, even though they are grown up. So when I started out when I was younger, it really happened quick for me. When I was, a young mom at the time, I was noticing how a lot of people wanted me to be like society. And I didn't like the way society was, and I decided, no, I'm really good, and I felt like no matter where I went in my life when I was younger, people wanted me to copy what they were doing. So I really didn't like to play that game, Follow the Leader, growing up. When I was a kid, it was fun, copying what somebody else was doing. But then when I got more mature, I decided, I don't want to do what everybody's doing. I want to be me. I want to be myself. So, I don't know about you. Do you follow society on the way the society is? Maybe you go to church and, I was going to church for years, and I realized that there was a lot of that going on. It was, a lot of, to me, it was a lot of little kids going on, even though they were grown-ups going to church. There was I felt like the pastor was like the father, and his wife being the mom, and then they had all these kids, and a lot was going on in church when I went there. So I seen a lot of people not really being themselves, where they were one way, like at the church. And when I started out, I was guilty, I was a baby Christian at the time. So through the first year was very painful because I didn't know all the things that I was doing was wrong. I was listening to the wrong music. I was watching the wrong movies. I was smoking pot at the time, and I think, I don't think I was smoking cigarettes at the time. I think I gave that up already. Yeah, I gave that up because my son, around the time that my son was, before he was born. And so I stopped smoking, and I haven't smoked since on cigarettes. And even though nowadays, a lot of people use those vapors, and I've had people that, even though I don't smoke cigarettes now, I've actually had some people that, hey, you want to use a vape? No, I'm really good. I wouldn't want to go backwards after it took me, like, my son's 31, so 31 years clean of not smoking cigarettes. I wouldn't want to try a vape now. So anyway, and that is how life is. A lot of people, and it starts as, little kids, when they're little. If they have brothers or sisters, they will mimic everything that they see, so if they have a little brother or sister, that's why I believe, if you have little kids, you always want to get a hold of the oldest ones and really control them, so that way when the little ones are watching what the bigger ones are going through, like if like you had to discipline them, not beat them. I said discipline, is that, if they find out, Johnny just got in trouble for something, for doing something naughty, well, I better not do that, because Johnny got in trouble. So you really want to make sure you control the oldest ones. That way, when the younger ones are around them, if the oldest ones are doing something naughty and you don't control it, the little ones are going to copy and mimic. Now you got 3 or 4 of them doing the same thing, so you really want to nip it in the butt, and make sure, because that's what they're going to do. Or if they don't have any brothers and sisters, they're going to mimic you or other kids that they are around. So you want to make sure, you start out with your kids the right way. And, in the beginning, they're in a learning stage, so they're going to mimic everything. If you pick your nose, they're going to pick, they're going to learn how to pick their nose. And, so it is kind of funny how quick kids pick up things. And if you say no, then they're going to no. They're going to learn these things, these habits, So you want to make sure, especially with little kids, you are a good example so they will follow. You don't want to be a bad example to your kids. Maybe your attitude is not good, and then they're going to have an attitude. So you want to make sure you're being a good example to your kids to follow. Maybe you complain a lot. Guess what? You're going to teach your kids to complain about everything and anything. I learned that when I was younger. I had I still have. I haven't seen him in a long time, but, I had a relative, and I realized that he complained a lot, and I spent a lot of time around him, and I didn't even realize after a while I was complaining a lot. It creeps up on you. It really does. So, what I have been doing is, I've been recreating myself, and so I have an old self, and I have a new self. So, I had an old self, and now I am, reinventing myself right now. So I'm letting go of all those old ways of thinking and, the way I used to talk. So now I'm in the middle, of what I used to say, and now everything's changing, on what I should say or what I shouldn't say. To let you really got to be careful what you do say. And you want to really be positive of the things that come out of your mouth. And I didn't know that, so sometimes, or a lot of times I have to say, you might not even be aware of it, but you might be cursing yourself out on it every day. So you really got to really think before you speak. And I'm still learning, there's times I say things and I'm like, I didn't mean that, universe. Can you scratch that one out? Because I said that wrong. And so it does take time to retrain yourself, especially if you're trying to become your greatest version, so it's like you're reprogramming yourself, and like a computer, or especially like a computer where they get a 5G to a 5G. A 5G to a 6G. They have to clean everything up and redo it all and make everything better. And like I was learning at this one church, is that they kept on raising the standards up. And really, that's what you really want to do, is raise the standards. You don't want to go down, and, because it's going to be a down spiral. You always want to think of ways to improve yourself, always take yourself to a next level, like a video game, like if you won the first screen. I haven't played video games in a long time. I used to play Mario Brother. That was my favorite video game for playing. It wasn't nothing about killing anybody or anything like that, but Mario Brother was my favorite game. And so that's what you really have to, like at the end of the game, you had to kind of kill like a monster to get to the next stage of the game or whatever. So in your life, you always want to lift the standards up, and that's how you're going to grow. And you don't want to copy what, your neighbors are doing. And that's what a lot of people do. They see what society is doing and they're like, well, I'm just going to, like do what everybody else is doing. But guess what? You don't have to. You don't have to do, like what those other parents are doing with their kids. That's why you're the parent. You can actually make up your rules, and your kids might come home and they might try to say, hey, I want to do what my friends are doing in school, or I want what my, like my friends have this at their house, and I like this, and why can't I have, like a laptop or, a cell phone, and that's and then the parents, they feel guilty and they cave into their children's desires that they have or their wants, and that doesn't mean that what they want is a good thing for them, and that's a lot of times kids feel like they're missing out on something. And you know what? After a while, they will get used to it. You've got to be firm and give them a no, like don't be afraid to say no. You're not going to. Just because they have it, you don't have to have it. You got to be the ones that are going to be the parents, not to the kids. And kids start out at a very young age. It starts out with what they want to eat and what they don't want to eat. They might be picky eaters, but when I was brought up, you ate what was at the table. And you ate all of it. So we ate. Like you had to eat all the food on your plate. And when they get older, like you can let them pick and choose what they want on their plate, but make sure they shouldn't be wasting their food. There's people out in the world that are starving and don't have food. There's a lot of homeless people. So you don't want to be a bad example to your kids and be wasteful with their food. I am not wasteful. Like I eat my food, and if I have leftovers, I freeze them. That way it doesn't go to waste and I don't have to throw them away in the garbage, and sometimes people will have pets and they might feed it to their dog. I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do, so you definitely don't want to be teaching your kids that it's okay to waste food. You want them to realize that that food costs money, and you want to be an example, like especially when they get old enough to like to be able to dish out their own food on their plate, so that way they can pick and choose. And I had rules and for my kids as far as like getting desserts and stuff after dinner, is that hey, if you didn't eat your dinner, then you're not getting the dessert. I wanted to teach them, like, you want this, then you got to work for it. And that's how life should be. You shouldn't let their kids just go out and do what all the other kids are doing. Your kids might want to wear the name brand clothes just because their friends have it, and they're going to school and they don't want to get picked on. But, you don't want your kids to look like clowns, when they go to school. You want them to look good. You want to make sure their clothes are clean and that they fit right. I went to school with some clothes that were high waters and I didn't know, and used to get picked on a lot. They always asked me if I was waiting for a flood. I didn't even know if it was going to rain or not. I didn't really get that it was a joke, until later when I started learning about what they were talking about. And now those pants are in fashion. They didn't know I was setting up a new trend. So anyway, you don't want to always copy what other people are doing. like with technology, hey, our neighbors or our friends or our relatives, they just got this new technology or this new computer. Let's go get what they have now. It is kind of funny. I grew up when reading a book, and there was, I believe the title was The White House. And it was a very interesting book, and it kind of reminds me of this topic, is that on this one street, all the houses they all looked the same. Every single house. So they actually had a hard time figuring out what house was theirs because they all looked the same. So then one of the neighbors decided, hey, I'm going to not have a white house. I'm going to paint it a different color. And then, it's kind of funny, all the other, houses, all the people the neighbors, they did the same thing. They just kept on going. And if you don't go to church or you never read the Bible, it says the wide way is the way to destruction. So you don't want to follow what everybody is doing. You want to be yourself, so I encourage you, if you don't like who you are, you could do what I'm doing. I'm reinventing myself. Think of who you want to be, how you want to be. Not like, you don't want to copy like a Hollywood star, but think of the different kind of things, how you want to be and how you want to act. Maybe you see somebody with different, maybe you see somebody that you admire out in the world, like somebody that's, I actually have some nicknames in my past that was called Sunshine, because when I showed up to work, I was like the sun, even if it wasn't sunny outside. And so everybody loved my personality when I got to work. I brightened up their day. And that's where I come up, I got Starlight is because I do. I have a lot of love and a lot of love to shine, and I love to brighten people's day. So they did. They called me Sunshine. So they're like, hey, good morning, Sunshine. And all these people at this company did. I was a cleaner there, and so I was the type of person that would brighten up your morning. I know some of you might not wake up on the right side of the bed. Maybe you wake up on the left side, but anyway, maybe you wake up grumpy is what I mean, because I actually wake up on the right side of my bed. But I don't wake up grumpy. I always wake up in a really good mood. And like with your kids, you want to teach them to be themselves, and you got to be that example to teach them, when they get older, you might let them decide on how they want to do their hair. Let them decide, maybe even let them pick out clothes, let them know, like, this is how much money you're going to spend, and on a shirt or a pair of pants. Let them pick out their clothes when they're old enough, to understand what the prices are, so they can have a personality, that, like when they pick out their clothes, that they can say, I feel very comfortable about this, like wearing this color or this design, like you just want to teach them that they don't need those big expensive brands. You'd save on a lot of money. It doesn't mean that you got to go to a secondhand store. A secondhand store is great if you got to go out and get used clothes, or maybe you don't have a lot of money. There's some great stores out there for secondhand stores, especially when your kids are growing so fast, So there's no problem with your kids going out to a secondhand store, because you get more for your money. They don't have to go out and get in very expensive clothes because they're friends, that are so popular, and they don't really feel comfortable and they want to be like their friends. They don't have to, they need to realize that at a young age when they're growing up. So you're teaching them like a good way of living when they get older, if you cave into everything that your children want, then, you're being that bad example to them, because you got to be strong and let them know, a no is a no, a yes is a yes, and don't back down. If they ask you for something, practice saying no, when it's needed, just because your kids ask for something and they want something, even if it's for Christmas or their birthday, that doesn't mean because they ask for something that goes against what you want them to have. Like a lot of parents have computers for their kids and they have them in their bedrooms. I really disagree with that. I don't believe that they should be in their bedrooms. I believe the computers should be out where you could see what's going on. Why do they need to be in the bedrooms? As long as you got, you should have space somewhere in your house, or make up a spot, like for a computer, where you can watch them and know exactly what they're doing, because kids, they learn at a younger age. And, like I didn't go through that when I was a kid, but nowadays, boys and girls at a very young age are sending bad pictures back and forth, and it could ruin them really bad. They could even end up wanting to suicide because, if their friends found out and that picture got sent out somehow or another. I've watched movies about this, and it really does happen in real life. So you want to really teach your kids to be themselves. Let them pick out their hairstyles when they get older. If they didn't like the hairstyle, that is something that they're going to have to deal with. And the next time, maybe they want to try a different hairstyle. Don't let them run you though, in control, be the one that tells them what they should be eating in the house, and make sure that you're buying the right kind of food in the house. Don't let them pick out what they want, like when you go shopping. I've seen that many times in the store. Are they picking out healthy food? Let them learn that, it's a good thing to eat healthy, and be an example is a good way to teach them that. If you're buying a lot of junk food, then what are you teaching them for, how they're going to raise up their kids, and how is their health going to be later on when they turn 40 or 50? So you really want to start off on the right path with your kids. Don't follow what everybody else is doing, and that's what a lot of people are doing. They're playing follow the leader. Why follow the leader when you can be a leader? Be a leader instead of a follower, lead people in life in a good, healthy way. Don't follow what everybody else is doing, because the wide way is the way to destruction. It's not going to take you in a good place. If everybody's, going out to the bar and meeting a bunch of girls and guys and drinking and smoking and driving, intoxicated, is that a really good example to be playing, for your kids to, to drink and drive, or go out to bars and, listen to the wrong kind of music or watch the wrong kind of movies? So you really want to really keep an eye on your kids, and they might get mad. Let them get mad. You got to show them that you love them, and find out what they're doing. If you got computers in the bedrooms already, you need to be like a police officer. You have every right to search that room if they're in your home. Don't let them run the show, because that's what they're going to do. They start at a very young age, and that's what you need to make sure. If you got little ones, you make sure you're the mom and dad. They're not the mom and dad yet. You have to be the example and let them know, no, this is the way it's going to go. And yeah, they're going to have a tantrum here and there. They're going to give you an attitude. But you know what? Love them anyway, and communicate with them. Let them know why you're not doing it, and explain to them so they understand why you do not want that to happen. A lot of times we're protecting our children so they don't get hurt. If you love them, I believe you do, you want to protect your kids from, like a problem down the road. You don't want, there's a lot of kids out in the world now, they are selling themselves out on the internet, and doing like live chats, like on porn sites. And do you want your kids out there selling themselves out on a live chat like that? So you really want to, get a hold of them while they're young, and let them know that you are the boss. When they go out and they find a job and they live on their own, bam, now they are the boss of their life. That's not when you should be telling them what to do then, but you can give an advice, and let them know, I love you, but I really don't think you're, doing it the right way. You can say, maybe have you thought about doing it this way? but they need to be the boss then. Let them know, like, that you're there to support them anyway. But, when they're on their own and they are working and they're paying for everything on by themselves, let them feel what it's like to be responsible. It's not easy, but you can always love them and support them. But that's a time that you want them to lead their own life. Let them know that it's good to, to become their own individual self. There's nothing wrong with them being different. I love when I see people that stand out in the world. It gets my attention. I'm like, wow, that one's not a clone. There's a lot of clones out in the world. I go out in public and, like when I go out and maybe I have a doctor's appointment or maybe I have to fix my car, and you know what I see? Almost every time, everybody will be on their cell phone. Everybody. You know what I do? Everybody's on their cell phone. I'm not going to be on my cell phone. I don't have to be on my cell phone while I'm in the, waiting at a doctor's appointment or whatever appointment. I can leave it alone. I control myself. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm not going to go on my cell phone and play with it. That's what a lot of people are doing. I see it all over. They get nervous. People got to really get to love themselves, and not to be ashamed of who they are. And we need to have people that are leaders, not followers. You might start out as a follower like I did, but later on in my life, I'm like, no, I seem to always go against the grain. It's rough too. When you go against the grain, it is rough to be different. But you need to, that's how you're going to find out who you are. That's what you want to do, is become your truest self. So don't let, maybe a neighbor or your friends get a new car or this or that, and now you're like, I feel like such a loser because I don't have what they have. Don't worry about it. Do your own thing. Don't copy other people. There's a lot of people out there in the world that are copycats or clones. Be your unique self. Invent yourself. If you don't like who you are, you can change it up. Change the way your hair is or the style of clothes. Maybe you want to wear certain clothes and maybe you're afraid of what other people think. Don't worry about what other people think. This is a time that you can take your life, and change it for the better. Stand out in the world. I have 3 tarot card reader guys, and out of the 3, there are 2 of them that really stand out to me. I love them, all 3 of them, but 2 of them, one of them has a very goofy character, and I love him just because he does, like he stands out, and sometimes he might wear some funky clothes when he does tarot card reading, and he gets me to laugh. I laugh my ass off. I'm trying not to swear on these videos. And then the other one, he's got hair, long hair, and sometimes it flops a certain way while he's doing it, and he's playing with his hair, and I love him, and I love how he looks, and he's himself, and don't care about what other people think, because everybody's got opinions, and if their opinions are like my armpits smell very nice. I just got done cleaning, so normally armpits really stink, so it doesn't matter what other people think, it's what you think, so teach your kids that. Say, who cares about what they think? You got to teach them that from a young age, to be themselves. So I hope you're not playing follow the leader. Why be a follower when you can be a leader? Be a leader in this world. We need more leaders than followers. So anyway, I hope you liked my video. And if you do, give it a thumbs up. And if you also like my video, please subscribe to my channel. And you can always, if you want to contact me, I am on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook at Kathy with a K, Dingman, Starlight. So those are 2 ways, or you can leave a comment down below. Anyway, I love all of you. I hope you get a great help, and all I want you to do is be yourself. You wear the clothes that you want and the clothes that you dream about wearing. Stand out. Be that star out in the world and shine like the star you are. This is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.